So this is our new XDs 45 ACP by Springfield. Picked this up the other day, took it home, field stripped it, inspected it, cleaned it, lubed it as per the manual, grabbed some ammo and took it out to the range. Got out there and we had several malfunctions, unfortunately. These two are failed to fires on round number 19 and about round number 60, somewhere between 55 and 65 rounds. They were both caused by a very off-center and light primer strike. Very hard to see because they are very light, but right at the edge of the primer, not far from the brass. And I think I know what caused that. This was not a lubrication issue. This was not a grip, stance, user-induced issue. This wasn't a lack of a break-in issue. I think this is a design flaw. And we have a clear gun. We have an empty cartridge. And I'll show you what I think is happening. As you see, the gun is fully in battery. It's clear by the top of the barrel being flush with the top of the slide. If I take this slightly out of battery, it returns to full battery. As it goes out of battery, the barrel tilts down, which would position the primer lower than center for the striker, causing the striker to hit high. But it returns to full battery unless we have some brass in there and we have a clear gun, one empty case already fired. We're going to load that up, and as you see, it is in full battery, locked right up. That's what we want. But out on the range, what we've been seeing is this. It doesn't go fully into battery with a round in the chamber. It's that far out of battery such that we have a round in the chamber, but our loaded chamber indicator is not even raised. Now it won't fire this far out of battery. Bear with me here. It won't fire this far out of battery, but it will fire about that far out of battery. And you can see that is significantly down. That's down far enough to make the primer struck very high. The striker is so far above the primer right now that the striker will almost hit the brass and not the primer. The problem is that it'll actually fire like this. And as it fires, you'll see the slide move forward quite a ways. And that distance that the slide moves forward when I pull the trigger is how far back this slide is out of battery. So I'll show you this right now. So the striker was released with the slide about a 1/16 of an inch out of battery, which tilts the barrel down about an equal amount, which would cause the round, instead of it sitting right in line with the striker channel, that round is actually tilted down out of the way. This is exaggerated, but it's tilted down, causing the striker to impact not at the center line, but like this, causing it to hit at the top edge and not right center. That's what happened with these two. Both of these rounds were fired slightly out of battery. And I think that's caused by the extractor right here being too big. I think it's trying to bite into the brass too hard. The reason I think that is because when I drop the slide all the way forward with no round in the chamber, it goes all the way into battery. When I take it slightly out of battery, even when I ride it way forward, when I try to get it to stick out of battery, it won't. It's got a very strong recoil spring. This is actually very smooth for being new and for being dry right now, especially. Very little lube on this gun right now. That spring is strong enough, and this slide and these rails are smooth enough to put it fully into battery, even when you try to get it to not go fully into battery, as long as there's no case or no round in the chamber. But the second you throw a round in the chamber, as the barrel tilts up and therefore pushes the brass, this is hard to see, but as the barrel tilts up and slides the brass up underneath the extractor, it binds right there. Very hard to see. So I think that extractor is digging into the brass due to a dimension issue or a tolerancing issue, a design flaw, manufacturing defect, causing this gun to be very hard to go into battery with a round in the chamber. With any amount of lube, with any grip, with any shooting style, with any amount of break-in, I don't think that brass is going to wear on that hardened steel extractor. The other reason I think that is the cause is because upon inspecting our spent brass, there are deep grooves all around the rim of the case left by the extractor. I think a faulty extractor digging into the brass is causing this gun to have off-center light primer strikes due to firing slightly out of battery. I'll be sending this back to Springfield tomorrow and we'll see what they have to say. Keep you updated. Thanks.